Motorized hang paraglider. While powered microlights, ultralights, developed from hang gliding in the late 1970s, they were also a return to the type of low-speed aircraft that were common in the earlier years of aviation, but which were superseded as both civil and military aircraft pursued more speed. For a second time in aviation history, during the 1970s, motorization of simple gliders, especially those portable and foot-launched, became the goal of many inventors, and gradually, small wing-mounted power packs were adapted. These early experiments went largely unrecorded, even in log books, let alone the press, because the pioneers were uncomfortably aware that the addition of an engine made the craft liable to registration, airworthiness legislation, and the pilot liable to expensive licensing and probably, insurance. Inventors from Australia, France, and England produced several successful microlight motor gliders in the early 1970s and very few reportable wings. Surprisingly, what really launched the powered ultralight aviation movement in the United States was not the Rogallo flexible wing but a whole series of rigid-wing motorized hang gliders. The Icarus V flying wing appeared with its tip rudders, and swept-back style wing was used as a base for some powered experiments. Differently, a rigid biplane designed also by teenager Terence Cassiniuk Jr., the Icarus II was a foundation for a modification in Larry Morrow's UFM Easy Riser biplane that started to sell in large numbers. Larry Morrow would power his tailless biplane. One version was solar-powered, called the Solar Riser. Hang gliding record holder Don Mitchell fitted his Mitchell Wing B-10 with a motor, though the pilots still had to use their legs as undercarriage, an arrangement which persisted until he designed the B-10 Mitchell wing. In 1963, and during his free time, aeronautical engineer Barry Palmer built and experimented with a foot-launched powered hang glider at Bloomfield, Connecticut. It was powered by a 7-horsepower, 5 kilowatts, West Bend engine and mounted on top of a Rogallo-type flexible wing hang glider. The propeller was 3 feet, 1 meter, in diameter and was made of balsa wood, covered with fiberglass and mounted in pusher configuration. However, the engine was quite underpowered and the craft could not achieve flight. It is now estimated that a modern flexible Rogallo wing hang glider requires at least 6 horsepower, 4 kilowatts, at the prop shaft and about 45 lbf, 200 N, of thrust just to maintain level flight. During 1967, Barry Palmer built what is likely the first weight-shift-powered trike aircraft. On March 15, 1975, John Moody successfully added a 12.5 horsepower, 9 kilowatts, West Bend engine with a 71 centimeters, 28 in, propeller to an UFM Easy Riser biplane hang glider designed by Larry Morrow. Moody opened the throttle and ran until he lifted from the frozen surface of a lake west of Racine, Wisconsin, and he flew for 30 minutes. Then on July 27, 1976, John Moody demonstrated ultralight aviation at the annual EAA Fly-In Convention in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, with a foot-launched McCulloch 101 powered Icarus II in front of thousands of spectators, starting the modern ultralight aviation revolution in the United States. Later he added wheels to the aircraft, and by the end of 1979, there were almost 100 competing companies selling powered ultralights, microlights, but very few were foot-launchable. In 1979, a powered backpack called the Motolotnia, White Eagle, designed by Jerzy Kalecki, became available for sale. It consisted of a 90 cubic centimeters McCulloch chainsaw engine with a direct drive 61 centimeters, 24-inch, wooden prop, producing a quoted 77 lbf, 340 N, of thrust. The rate of climb was about 150 feet per minute, 0.76 meters per second, and flight duration was limited by the small fuel tank and engine overheating after several minutes. Other powered harnesses to reach the market in the 1980s were the Ranger and the Relax 220. By 2008, there were a few harness designs similar to the Swedish Aerosport Mosquito, each sporting unique strengths, and produced by other FLPHG manufacturers. The latest generation of powered harnesses bear names such as Wasp, Flylight Doodlebug, Raven, X1, Xenon, Airtime Explorer, Philo, and Flight. La Fédération Aéronautique Internationale, FAI, is the international standard-setting and record-keeping body for aeronautics and astronautics, so it also oversees the official records by foot-launched powered hang gliders, currently under the RWF-1 category. On August 5, 1978, French pioneer Bernard Danis mated a Soarmaster unit to this 168 square feet, 15.6 square meters, SK-2 SS wing and climbed to 1,825 meters, 5,988 feet, above sea level at the Southern Alps. May 9, 1978, David Cook becomes the first pilot to cross the English Channel while flying on a foot-launched powered hang glider. He used a VJ-23F glider. On May 7, 1979, British pilot Jerry Breen set a new distance record for FLPHG of 325 kilometers, 202 miles, from Wales to Norwich, a non-stop world distance record that still stands today. Using a Soarmaster, the flight took about 4 hours with a tailwind of about 25 knots, 29 miles per hour, and reportedly consumed 25 liters, 5.5 imp-gal, of fuel. 3 months later, on August 25 through 28, inspired by the film Those Magnificent Men in Their Flying Machines, and sponsored by British Airways, Breen flew his powered hang glider from London to Paris. Wishing to use a British-made aircraft, Jerry Breen and Steve Hunt set about building with their version of the powered Soarmaster, but had no clutch. The unit, including glider, was considerably heavier than the Soarmaster and Olympus glider combination, but the wing was much more robust. The hang glider was a highway Super Scorpion with a 10 horsepower, 7 kilowatts, McCulloch 125 cubic centimeters engine mounted on the keel just forward of the hang strap. The journey was plagued with mechanical failures, but Breen overcame them and completed the trip. In July 2002, Italian hang gliding champion and conservationist, Angelo D'Arrigo, guided a flock of 10 endangered western Siberian cranes, bred in captivity, with an Icaro hang glider equipped with an NRG-powered harness 5,300 kilometers, 3,300 miles, from the Arctic Circle in Siberia, across Kazakhstan to the shores of the Caspian Sea in Iran, avoiding Afghanistan and Pakistan where they fall victim to the abundant guns. For the most part, he relied on the sun and wind for propulsion in order to teach the young cranes to soar long distances. This $250,000 experiment lasted for 6 months and finished in winter 2002. On May 24, 2009, Irish pilot Patrick Laverty broke the foot-launched powered hang glider altitude world record. He used an Aeros Discus 15 hang glider coupled to a supine custom-made harness equipped with the 29-horsepower ROS 125 engine with the Supatuna tuning light system on a WB32 carburetor. Takeoff was at sea level and he flew to an altitude of 5,348 meters, 17,546 feet, ASL over Tollybont, Ceredigion, Wales, UK. He carried oxygen and 10 liters of fuel, per UK regulations. His variometer indicated 30 to 50 fpm climb rate at the time fuel ran out. Currently, there are 2 harness configurations, prone, face down, and sitting. Both configurations allow the pilot to take off and land on their feet. Foot-launched powered hang glider, FLPHG, harnesses are built around a light metal frame with the engine and propeller mounted on the rear in a pusher configuration. Current powered harnesses weigh 22 to 32 kilograms, 50 to 70 pounds, not including the safety parachute and fuel, and fold neatly into a 1.5 meters, 4.9 feet, long harness bag with a handle. Most powered harnesses in production are equipped with the RAN Racket 122-stroke engine, which is based on Husqvarna XP3120 chainsaw parts. It has a displacement of 118 cubic centimeters, 7.2 cu in, and produces about 15 horsepower, 11 kilowatts, at 8,900 rpm if equipped with a tuned exhaust. When coupled to a 1 minute and 3.5 seconds belt-driven reduction drive and a 52-inch by 22-inch propeller, it produces about 100 lbf, 440 N, of static thrust. For heavy pilots or pilots operating from higher than 1,500 meters, 4,900 feet, MSL fields, a powered harness equipped with an 18 horsepower, 13 kilowatts engine is recommended. The prices of hang gliders vary depending on what they're designed for, what condition they're in, and if you're buying new or used. If you just want a basic, used hang glider that will get the job done, you can find them for $1,000 to $2,000. For brand new high-performance gliders, expect to pay upwards of $10,000 or more. As a general rule of thumb, most gliders will set you back about $2,000 to $6,000, but it all depends on the actual glider itself.